This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Channel. My name is Maham and I crochet cute things. Please don't skip the intro because I'm going to go over some important notes and all the materials that you need for these projects. For the flower hair clip, you're going to need any plain hair clip to attach the flower petals to, and then I would recommend also having some colorful blush or some eyeshadow if you want to add a bit of pop of color like mine. Then for the yarn, I used my favorite yarn art, which is linked on my Amazon storefront, with a 3.5mm hook. You can use any yarn and hook size, but I would recommend using a hook size that's a little bit smaller than the weight of your yarn, just so that there aren't any holes in the stitches as you're making the petals. I would also recommend having a hot glue gun or some fabric glue because that would be so much easier rather than sewing all the petals together. The next project is inspired by my favorite influencer, Matilda Jurf, and there is so much creative freedom for this project. You can do a monochrome color scheme, you can do a bright, fun, colorful color palette like I did, but this project is not for the faint of heart because there are so many ends to weave in. But don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly how I did mine. This is what the back looks like and this is what the front looks like, so I just want you to be aware of that before you start making the headband. Again, all the yarn that I used for this headband is linked on my Amazon storefront. It is my favorite brand, Yarn Art Jeans Plus. It's a cotton mixed with acrylic and I used it with a 3.5mm hook. If you want something like these pictures, like my inspiration pictures, then I would recommend using a smaller hook size. Also, whether you're a crocheter who's thinking of starting your own business selling digital crochet patterns or your crochet pieces, or if you're someone who's already managing a growing brand, I'd love to introduce you to today's sponsor, which is Squarespace. An all-in-one platform with a powerful e-commerce website builder to create your dream website to sell anything from products to content, all in one place and all on your terms. And the best part is that you don't need any coding experience to turn your idea into an online reality. Get started with one of the professional website templates with designs for every category. Then customize your look, update content, and add features to fit your unique needs. I personally love all the unique touches I can add to my site and tailor it to my aesthetic. Present your work using Squarespace's professional portfolio designs and display projects in customizable galleries. You can make any Squarespace template do what you want so your idea, brand, or business stands out online. With a huge range of various tools and easy-to-use templates, you can start your online store or business to sell digital and physical products. You can also monetize your content by selling membership access to exclusive sections of your website. So if you'd like to create a website of your own, I highly recommend that you head to squarespace.com, try it out for yourself with a free trial, and once you're ready to launch, you can use the link in the description and my code to save 10% off your first purchase of a domain or website. To make the petal, you're going to go ahead and get started by making a slip knot. You can do this however you like. Here's how I like to do it. And as a reminder, if you skip the intro, that's where I talk about hook size, material, and yarn. Now you're going to chain 11. Make sure that these chains are not too tight but not too loose at the same time, so try to keep an even tension. To skip that first chain, and you're going to start inserting 9 single crochets from the second chain. So you have to do a total of 9 single crochets, 1 in each chain. So in the next chain I'm doing my second single crochet, in the next chain I'm doing my third. After doing 9 single crochets, you should have 1 chain remaining, and in this last chain you're going to do 3 single crochets in the same chain. So I'm going to go ahead and do my first, and now pay attention to how I'm holding my work as we're going to try and move the single crochets over to the other side. When I'm doing my second single crochet in that same chain, I'm holding it like this, and I'm starting to work over the end of our slip knot. Then to do my third single crochet, I'm going to be holding onto my work like this, turning it to the other side, and then I'm going to do my third single crochet. So we're changing the direction that we're working in, and now we're going to be working on the other side of the chains. We have to do 3 double crochets, 1 in each chain. This is where you're going to insert your hook. So yarn over for your double crochet, insert your hook into the chain on the other side. That is my first double crochet. Then in the next chain, I'm going to do my second double crochet. In the next chain, I'm going to do my third. So you should do a total of 3 double crochets. Now we're going to do a total of 5 triple crochets, 1 in each chain. So not all together. For triple crochet, you yarn over twice, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through 2 loops. I'm doing my 3rd triple crochet, 4th, and 5th. After doing your 5th triple crochet, you should be towards the end of your work over here. So in that last remaining chain, you're just going to single crochet. And I've worked over my end as I was going so that I don't have anything to weave in later. And you're done with your first side. That's what it should look like. Now we're going to be repeating the same thing on the other side with a few changes. So you're going to go into that first stitch onto the other side, and you're going to single crochet. Now you're going to repeat what we did. We're going to do 5 triple crochets, 1 in each stitch. That's 1. Make sure to make these tight. Don't make them too loose, otherwise you're going to have holes in your petals. This is what you should have when you're done. Now we're going to do 4 double crochets. So on the other side we did 3, but on this side we're going to be doing 4. So 1 in each stitch, just do 4 double crochets. That's 1, 2, and it is normal for your petal to be curling up like this. I'm going to be putting my petals under something heavy to kind of remove this curl a little bit, but having a bit of this curl is actually good because it's going to give your flower clip that shape that we want. Once you're done with your 4 double crochets, we're going to end our work. So you're going to turn your work this way, and in that first stitch over there, you're just going to slip stitch. So insert your hook and slide it through the loop like that, and then you can fasten off. To fasten off, I like to chain 2. So this is where it's important to make sure that your chains are not too tight, otherwise your work will curl even more. But if your chains are too loose, then you're going to have holes over here because of the stitches that you insert. So it's good to keep a little bit of a balance. And keep in mind that the written pattern is on my blog so that you don't have to keep rewatching the video again and again. You can just open up the written pattern and continue making more petals for your flower. And once you're done, I'm going to show you how to join them together. Once you've got 5 petals, I'm going to show you how to hide these ends. So what I like doing is turning my work to the back, and I just insert my hook through any of the loops and slide that end through really tightly. And then I continue doing this until the end is woven through quite a few of these loops. I'm just going to weave this through all of these. I'm going to be using a hot glue gun to join my petals together. You're going to place some glue basically in this part over here and join the petals one by one like this. So again, you're going to place some glue on this part, get your next petal, and just glue it up there. And you're gonna continue doing this until all of your petals are joined like that, and you're gonna have a bit of gap left over. I'm gonna show you what to do next. But here's what I have, and the only thing that I have to left to glue together is this part over here. If you have a bigger gap than I do, then you're just going to squeeze it up as close as you can until you get that shape. To make this super colorful striped headband, you can choose any one color. We're going to start off by making a slip knot, and then you're going to chain the width that you want for this headband. So the width is this measurement over here. I recommend using a smaller hook size and a slightly thinner yarn, or if you don't have a thinner yarn, then just decreasing the hook size down 1 will work. Get started by making a slip knot, and then go ahead and chain the width that you want. I'm going to chain 8, so I'll have a width of 7 stitches, and then that 8th chain will be my turning chain, which won't count as a stitch. This is your foundation chain, and it doesn't count as a row. Then you're going to skip your first chain, and you're going to insert your hook into that second chain over there, and we're going to single crochet. So yarn over and pull up a loop, and then once you've got 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops as well. That is your first single crochet stitch. Now we're going to insert 1 single crochet into all of the chains. So I had a total of 8 chains. That means that I'm going to have a total of 7 single crochet stitches in my first row. So that is our first row. My headband is slightly as large as my thumb if you're trying to get a measurement of how wide mine is. Now, to start a new row, every time you want to start a new row, you're going to chain 1, make this slightly tight, and then you're going to turn your work. Now we're going to single crochet into all of the stitches like that. So that chain 1 that you did at the beginning doesn't count as a stitch. It's just there to help you start a new row. So if you had 7 single crochet stitches in your first row, in your second row you should also have 7 single crochet stitches. I'm working through the stitch at the top and just single crocheting. I'm going to be inserting a single crochet into my last stitch of this row. You always change colors in your last stitch of the row that you're working on, so you're just going to pull up a loop. However, you're not going to complete your single crochet. Instead, you're going to get the color that you want to switch to. I want to switch to pink, and you're going to make a little loop with it, and you're going to slide that loop through like that. And now you've attached your pink. Now you can work with pink. So now we need to start a new row. So I'm going to chain 1 with the pink. We don't need the white anymore, so you can pull that in. And then I'm going to turn my work. And just like normal, I'm going to insert my hook into that first stitch, and I'm going to single crochet into every stitch. Now what to do with these ends over here, just pull them tight. I like just tying these two into a knot. And then I'm going to cut the whites because I don't need it, so I don't make the knot too tight, just like that. I'm just going to cut my yarn until I need to use it again, and this knot is going to keep it in place over there. I'm going to use my hook and tuck these in. I'm just going to show you really quickly. So this is going to be the back side of my headband, and this is going to be the front side of my headband. So on the back side where I've got these ends, I'm going to go through one of these little loops in my stitches, and I'm going to take these ends and slide them through that. Basically just weaving them into the stitches so they get, well, sort of hidden on the back side, and my front side will remain nice and clean like that. I'm going to do the same thing with the white. So you just find any loop in any stitch to just go through, and then you just slide that through to hide it. And yeah, that's basically it. So that's what the front side looks like now, and that's what the back side will look like. The back side is going to be a bit messy. Now over here I want to switch colors to dark pink, so again I'm not going to complete my last single crochet. Instead, I'm just going to insert my hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, and then I'm going to take my next color and complete the single crochet with the next color that I want to use. These are the same steps that you will repeat every time you're changing colors. So get your next color and make a little loop with it, and slide it through. Now you've got your dark pink attached, so you can start a new row by chaining 1, turn your work, and single crochet into all of the stitches. Remember that you should have the same number of single crochet stitches in all of your rows. So I should have 7 single crochet stitches in all of my rows, and you should have the number that you started with. And every time you want to change colors, you're just going to repeat the same steps that I showed you. Again, this is completely up to customization. You can use as many colors as you want, you can do as many rows as you want. And since I don't want to use the pink anymore, I'm just going to show you the same steps that I do. You're just going to cut the yarn, take these 2 ends over here, and tie them into a knot. A knot that's tight, but not too tight. Like that. And then you can take your ends and you can weave them into the loops. Weave them into the back side, the same thing that I did over here. So I'm just going to find loops that I can go through. So I insert my hook through a loop, and I grab onto the ends, and I'm basically just going to slide them through that loop. Okay, don't try to do 2 at a time like me, it is much trickier, but basically that's it. And I'm probably gonna weave them in through a few more loops until they're secured and hidden at the back, while my front remains nice and clean. From now on, you're just going to do as many rows as you want and switch colors whenever you want to get the multicolor stripe effect. I'm going to show you one more time. These are the steps that you're going to repeat every time you want to switch colors. You're going to insert your hook into the last stitch of the row, pull up a loop, and don't complete the single crochet. You're going to get the color that you want to work with next, make a little loop with it, and slide it through those 2 loops, completing the single crochet. Now you can deal with the ends later, like how I showed you. To start a new row, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, ignore the chain 1 because that's just your turning chain. Instead, you're going to insert your hook into that first stitch over there and single crochet. Now you're going to single crochet into every stitch and basically repeat these steps until your headband is long enough to wrap around your head. I did change my total number of chains because I wanted my headband to be a little bit wider. I did a total of 9 chains. The 9th one was my turning chain, so I have a total of 8 stitches in every row. This is what your work will look like once your ends are not knotted and they're not weaved in, and this is what your work will look like once you've done everything. So once you've tied the ends into a double knot and then weave them in with your hook through the stitches in the back. So it's going to turn out super neat. Once your headband can wrap comfortably around your head, remember that since we did rows, your work is able to stretch around your head. So don't make it too loose. Now I'm going to show you how to join the piece together. So just take your piece and hold it like that. Insert your hook back through whatever row you're working on, whatever color you were working with, and then insert your hook through the edge of this piece over here. Like that. Then turn your work to so that your yarn is here, and you're going to basically just slide it through, making a slip stitch like that. Now you're going to insert your hook through both of the pieces like so and just slip stitch, and this is going to join your 2 ends together. So insert your hook through the first piece and the second piece like this, and just slip stitch by sliding the yarn through all the loops and the pieces. Make sure that your work is lined up so that it doesn't become wonky. Once you're done, you'll be ready to fasten off your work, and how I like to fasten off is just by chaining 2. And then I'm going to get my scissor, cut the yarn, pull and tighten. And your headband should be all ready. Don't forget to weave your ends in. There are quite a lot of them, but it'll look so gorgeous once you're done.